What up, everybody? Welcome back to JayFabe Wrestling. And yes, we're still in Survivor Series season, so I'm going to book another old school Survivor Series. This time we're going back to Survivor Series 1993. And yeah, let me just run down the original card for you guys before I get into it. So, the opening match, we had Team Razor, which was Razor Ramon, 123 Kid, Marty Jannety, defeat Team IRS, which was Adam Bomb, Diesel, IRS, and Rick Martell. The second match, we have the Hart family. Bret Hart, Bruce Hart, Keith Hart, and Owen Hart defeat Shawn Michaels and his Knights. The next match, we have the Heavenly Bodies defeat the Rock and Roll Express for the Smoky Mountain Wrestling Tag Team Championship. Next match, we have the Four Doinks, which were played by the Bushwhackers and Men on a Mission, and they defeated Bam Bam Bigelow, Bastion, Booger, and the Headshrinkers. And in the main event, the All-Americans, Lex Luger, the Steiner brothers, and the Undertaker defeat the Foreign Fanatics, Crush, Quebecer Jock, Ludvig, Borga, and Yokozuna. So yeah, looking at this card, I mean, it wasn't really a good card. It wasn't really a good show. Obviously, there were some different circumstances here. Of course, the first thing was Jerry Lawler's not on the show. He was supposed to captain the Knights, but then we got Shawn Michaels captaining the Knights, which was kind of weird, to be honest. And then what else? Doink wasn't on the show. He had 4 other people play Doink, even though, the team is called Four Doinks. So that was interesting. But yeah, aside from that, it did bring us the Bret and Owen feud kind of starting because of this match. So that was probably the best thing to come out of this show. Team Razor versus Team IRS. That was a fine opener. And the main event was fine. It built towards, Lex Luger eventually challenging Yokozuna. But, of course, that's the fans didn't really want to go that way. And they kind of shifted towards Bret Hart being the one to defeat Yokozuna. And also building towards Undertaker Yokozuna as well. So that was pretty well. Some things about this show, obviously, Ludvig Borga, he wasn't really, a great wrestler, and he was kind of bland as a character, but they were giving him the push at the time, so that's really interesting. And also, yeah, they had the Smoky Mountain Wrestling Tag Team Championship, so the Rock and Roll Express are actually on the show, so that's a pretty cool thing to note as well. But again, aside from that, the Four Doinks, versus Bam Bam. Yeah, that was just a shame to see how Bam Bam Bigelow was booked on this card. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to try to do something different. So, let's get into it. All right, so the first match, we have Tatanka, the Smoking Guns, and Virgil versus Ludvig Borga, the Headshrinkers, and Alpha. So, yeah, the roster is pretty thin at the time. So, let's get Alpha in this match as well. So, yeah, the build here could be simple. Ludvig Borga. I don't really know if I want him to defeat Tatanka and end his undefeated streak. So maybe they have a match on Superstars and it ends in a DQ. Ludvig Borga perhaps injures Tatanka. And yeah, the Smoking Guns can come out next week and say, you know what? Usually it's always the Cowboys versus the Indians, but this is America, and we got Tatanka's back, and they start to jump Ludvig Borga. And then, yeah, Ludvig Borga, he could be like pissed backstage, and Alpha can say, you know what, we can help you. We agree that this America is soft, and they're not as wild as us, the Samoans. So they kind of team up, and then Virgil can also make the save the next week, as he says he's representing the USA, the common man, and he's going to show Ludvig Borga what America's all about. And Tatanka can return as well. And, yeah, you have this match here. And I would actually have Tatanka get the win here, pinning Ludvig Borga. You know what? Ludvig Borga, he didn't really live up to the hype, so I'm kind of using hindsight here. Obviously, at the time, the company wanted to push him, but using the hindsight here, he didn't really do much after this, so I think he can take a loss, and I think it would actually help Tatanka's character as well to get a big win here and kind of avenge, getting beat up by Ludvig Borga. All right, the next match we have Team Razor. So we got Razor Ramon, the 123 Kid, and the Rock and Roll Express versus IRS, the Brooklyn Brawler, and the Heavenly Bodies. So yeah, we're kind of mixing a few feuds here. Obviously, Razor and 123 Kid, their friendship here makes sense. You could have, IRS starting to his feud with Razor Ramon, saying he's all about the gold change, but he never pays his taxes. So you can kind of have IRS try to steal the chain there. And you can also have the Brooklyn Brawler, say that want to join Razor Ramon, say he's from Brooklyn, he knows the streets, he's a bad guy, but Razor turns him down, and Brooklyn Brawler can attack Razor Ramon, and 123 Kid can make the save, and Brooklyn Brawler can call 123 Kid a loser, which is funny because he's also kind of a jobber. So they can have a feud there, and then Jim Cornette and Razor Ramon, they can kind of have like a little verbal spat backstage that causes the Heavenly Bodies to, attack Razor and 123 Kid, and Razor says, "I got a surprise for you at Survivor Series, and my team will be the Rock and Roll Express, one of the greatest tag teams." So, he says the Rock and Roll guys, they're cool, like the bad guy. So yeah, I think this would be a good, nice mid-card Survivor Series tag team match. And I'll actually have Razor Ramon and 123 Kid be the sole survivors here. They can kind of double team IRS, and Razor can kind of end the match with the Razor's Edge. So yeah, and this continues their feud as well. I believe they fought at the Royal Rumble. And feel good win for Razor Ramon. He's one of the most over guys this year, and he definitely deserved a big win. So the next match, we got The Undertaker teaming with Men on a Mission and Koko B.Ware versus Doink the Clown, Atom Bomb, Crush, and Bastion Booger. So yeah, I think some of you guys may have remember in my WrestleMania 9 booking, I had The Undertaker versus Doink. Obviously, for these Survivor Series one-offs, I'm kind of just looking at where the company was at the time, so I can't really rebook, the past for these ones. But yeah, I think it would be cool to have an Undertaker versus Doink match here, and it could be a Survivor match as well. Maybe you can build the feud to the Royal Rumble or something. But yeah, something different for the Undertaker. Him fighting, was it Kamala? No, not Kamala. Who did he fight this year? Well, yeah, he was actually in the main event. Sorry. He was in the main event, but I'm trying to spread the star power here, so I think him captaining his own team would be cool. So yeah, you could actually have Doink the Clown, interrupt the Undertaker and say, he needs to be more fun, get rid of the dark side, and be more playful and be like Doink. And the Undertaker says he's good, and Doink can attack him. And then Doink says he needs backup, so he asks Atom Bomb, Crush, and Bastion Booger to help him out at Survivor Series. The Undertaker's like, you know what, I want to fight alone, 1-on-4. But then you could have Mo come and say, you know what, Undertaker, Doink is right. You need a little bit of positivity, but not like Doink the Clown, like not no clown, but you need men on a mission, to get your back. So they kind of get your back. And then Koko B.Ware can also ask Undertaker to be on the team as well. So because he wants to bring, more positivity to the Undertaker. So yeah, but they're also saying that, we can get evil when we want to, and we will defeat Doink's team. So yeah, I think it's a nice, character here where Undertaker is kind of accepting these guys to be on his team, the happy-go-lucky guys. But these guys are also, willing to fight for the Undertaker. And yeah, I think it'd be a good match. You can have the Undertaker and Doink be the final two. You could have like evil Doink, like Doink have a twin that tries to interfere, but Paul Bearer, helps him out. He passes the urn to the Undertaker. He could hit Doink the Clown with it, and the Undertaker's the sole survivor here. All right, match number 4. We got Bret the Hitman Hart, the Macho Man Randy Savage, Owen Hart and Marty Jannety versus Shawn Michaels, Diesel, Jeff Jarrett, and Rick Martell. So yeah, I think this would be better than the Hart family match here. And obviously, Jerry the King Lawler is supposed to be in this match, but we're trying to book around it. I would actually have Bret have an open spot, and he's looking for a tag team partner. And Owen Hart can say he wants to be on the team. Bret's he's saying, he doesn't want Owen to get hurt. This is a big time match here. And Owen is trying to be persistent, so they could be on a 3-on-4 brawl here, and Owen Hart can kind of make the save, and Bret says, it's okay to be on a team. Maybe the next week you have Diesel and Shawn jump Owen Hart, so Bret kind of feels a little bad for bringing Owen Hart into all this. But so that's kind of the story going on here. And yeah, obviously it was supposed to be Jerry Lawler's team, so that's why I'd actually have Randy Savage be on Bret Hart's team, because they were both on commentary, so they can kind of be throwing shots at each other on commentary, because this is the original build. And so yeah, and eventually once Shawn becomes the new captain here, that's why Marty Jannety's in the match as well, and then he reunites with Rick Martell as well, and he also is impressed by Jeff Jarrett, his music skills, so he brings him on the team as well. So yeah, we got a lot of good workers here. Yeah, I would actually have Owen Hart, get eliminated early, and then he can accidentally cost Bret Hart his elimination as well. So it's kind of building tension for their feud as well. And then I would actually have Shawn and Diesel be the sole survivors. They could eliminate Randy Savage at the end. Yeah, I think it would be good just to give Shawn and Diesel the win here, give them a little bit of momentum, and start the Bret and Owen feud a little differently, rather than Bret being successful in the match and Owen being jealous, but kind of Owen feeling bad that he messed up and he tries to help out and it doesn't work out. So yeah, I think this would be a much better match in the Hart family versus the Knights, and I think it pushes the story forward, and it's also gives Shawn Michaels and Diesel a good win. All right, and now we're at the main event of the evening. We got Team Lex Luger. He's teaming with Bob Backlund and the Steiners versus Yokozuna, Bam Bam Bigelow, and the Quebecers. So yeah, I would actually have, Lex Luger say challenge Yokozuna. He says he got screwed at Survivor Series. He wants his title match, and Mr. Fuji and Jim Cornette can say, you know what? We will not give you a match, but we'll give you a Survivor Series tag match. And he knows that Lex Luger, he's a narcissist. He's so unlikable that he can't find a team. And then we can have, the Quebecers attack Lex Luger because they say, they hate America and this Lex Express stuff, and that, they're with Mr. Fuji and Yokozuna because they believe that USA is overrated. So yeah, then the Steiners can come out as well because they're feuding with the Quebecers, and they say, you can say a lot about the Steiners or Lex Luger, but you can't talk about America. So yeah, there's both teams are looking for one more person, and then you can see Jim Cornette speaking with Bam Bam Bigelow, saying, I know you're American, but we want you to join our team. And Bam Bam says, you know what, he'll think about it. So yeah, Lex Luger is getting attacked. Bam Bam looks like he makes the save, but then he attacks Lex Luger and shakes hands with Jim Cornette. So he's the fourth member, and so yeah, they're kind of looking for a final member. And then Bob Backlund can come out and say, "Your team needs the inspiration. Your team needs someone." He's like kind of helping them try to find a teammate. And Lex Luger's like, you know what? Why don't you team up with us, Bob? Former WWF champion, represents America. And Bob's like, I don't have it anymore. And then the fans start cheering, and Bob says, you know what, I accept. So yeah, so that's the match here, and I think it'll be a really good main event. And of course, we want to push Lex Luger here because that's what the company was doing. So I'd actually have him eliminate Bam Bam Bigelow at the end. Yokozuna can get counted out, and Bam Bam can eliminate Bob Backlund, but he can't eliminate Lex Luger. So yeah, Lex Luger's team gets the win here, and I think it'll be a really good match. So yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think about my card. I think I definitely improved it. First off, we're scrapping the 4 Doinks match. We're using Bam Bam Bigelow a little bit better. Doink can still have his match, like more comedy match, but he can maybe feud with Jeff Jarrett there. The Hart family, swapping that for the match I have, I think is better. You can still build on to Bret and Owen storyline here, but I think it'll just be better work rate. And what else? The Undertaker, making him he didn't really fit the All American team as well. I think Bob Backlund, he's kind of fitting more of the American, the underdog, the crazy guy. Undertaker, he's more like should have his own feuds, I think. And obviously, I know they were trying to build towards Undertaker and Yokozuna, but I think you could do that, later. And then having the Undertaker Doink, feud here, I think that'd be really cool. There's a match that we really didn't get to have, so having both of them captain Survivor Series teams, I think would be fun. And yeah, just giving more shine to Tatanka and Razor Ramon as well on the undercard. So yeah, guys, that's my card. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll run down the card for you guys right now. So the first match, Captain Tatanka teaming with the Smoking Guns and Virgil versus Captain Ludvig Borga teaming with the Headshrinkers and Alpha. Second match, Captain Razor Ramon teaming with the 123 Kid and the Rock and Roll Express versus Captain IRS teaming with the Brooklyn Brawler and the Heavenly Bodies. The third match, Captain The Undertaker teaming with Men on a Mission and Koko B.Ware versus Captain Doink the Clown teaming with Atom Bomb, Crush, and Bastion Booger. In the fourth match, we have Captain Bret Hart teaming with Randy Savage, Owen Hart, and Marty Jannety versus Captain Shawn Michaels teaming with Diesel, Jeff Jarrett, and Rick Martell. And in the main event, Captain Lex Luger teaming with Bob Backlund and the Steiners versus Captain Yokozuna teaming with Bam Bam Bigelow and the Quebecers. So yeah, guys, that's my card. Let me know what you guys think. Catch you on the next one. Peace.